What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Where the Locals Skate. I'm your host once again, OG Skate Show. This is a podcast where we get to know local skaters on and off the board. And of course, here with me always, we have the Couch Boys.
What's up, everybody?
And today, sitting in for Listo, we have Cain.
What's up, guys?
All right, now let's introduce our guest this week. We have Amelia Helm joining us today. Thank you very much.
Hi, guys.
All right, let everybody know what city you're repping.
Fullerton.
Fullerton?
Joker's Town. No, just Fullerton.
Oh, okay.
La Ciudad de Fullerton.
Okay, is that where you grew up?
Yes, that's mostly where I grew up. I grew up on Truslow Street and Lemon. Okay. So they've remodeled it and gentrified it, but that's pretty much my hometown.
Okay. And did you skate as a kid?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I skateboard. Well, for my generation, I still do. Okay. I still do. My generation, I started skating when I saw Gleaming the Cube.
Okay.
Remember that movie?
I do.
With Christian Slater and I think Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
I'm actually giving away my age here, but that was very inspirational to see what they were doing on skateboards, because a lot of us grew up skateboarding on our, with your knee and you push it. And that's what we thought the proper way of skateboarding was. But
until you saw that, yeah.
Until I saw Gleaming the Cube.
Yeah.
And I was really into the pool part. I mean, obviously growing up, when you got into skateboarding, you would hear about the Z-Boys in Venice, and they skated nothing but pools and that kind of thing. But as I started to grow up, I started noticing more transition. And then also to a lot of street skating.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of attention.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, the thing I remembered, I think it was that movie where they used a skate key to steal a car.
Yes. It was showing you what you could do with your skateboards. It's crazy.
I miss those skate keys.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. All right. So, and did you grow up skateboarding? Did you skate at Fullerton?
I skateboarded at Fullerton. I would go on skate trips. We would go to there was I think not Bellflower, but they rebuilt the one right across the street from the Kaiser. I think it's not Downey. Downey. I was going to Downey a lot. And the reason I was going to Downey is because the park was half empty. So as I was learning, I could fall and nobody could see me. And then
Were you skating with anybody at the time?
Oh, no. I skate with the Montoya twins out of San Bernardino, and I hope you bring them on the show.
Okay.
Joe and Mike, they're straight thrash skaters. I learned to do a lot of my tricks on DIY spots because that's kind of where they were skating, and they were always cheering me on as I started to get back into it. I was into it as a kid. Then, you got to go to college and you're a girl and you shouldn't, your knees, you're not balancing. And then I went ahead and got back into it out of high school.
Out of high school?
Yeah.
Okay. That's so cool. Do you remember your first board?
Yes. I had the Alien Workshop. I think it was a Josh Callis Alien Workshop.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a great board.
That is a great board.
And a great skater, too.
And a great skater.
Yeah. All right. And then... Who was the people besides those two dudes? Was anybody else that you're skating with that?
A lot of the older guys, you can say. Like I would go to the Vans skate or the Combi, and I would always see like Jeff.
Grosso. Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Grosso, Darren from Creature. It's kind of my generation. I would go watch them skateboard, and then Christian Asoy and Lonnie. And then sometimes, who's always with Lonnie? I can't think of his name right now.
But being in the scene, that helps later on, because then do they remember you?
Oh yeah,
go to an event,
yeah.
Right? Everybody's like, hey, what's up?
When I was growing up, they obviously were older, and then once I got into the business of having a brand and skateboarding, it was amazing to be able to have Christian Hosoi say, hey, I think what you're doing is rad. And you can actually go and skate with him. Same thing when Jay Adams was alive. I mean, Jay was always at Venice Beach. And before he moved to Hawaii, it was awesome to be like, oh my God, this is the Jay Adams. And he's supportive of what I'm doing for skateboarding now that I'm older.
That's so rad. Yeah. Are you goofy or are you regular?
I'm regular.
Regular? Okay.
Regular.
All right. And did you ever get into the street, or was it just strictly DIY and park, or
Just transition.
transition?
Yeah, just transition. I couldn't do street. I tried a couple of times.
Sometimes it like I've seen some girls that skate transition they're really good at it, and then they go to the street and it's like a little bit different, which I wish I knew transition because I can't really skate it that well. You know what I mean? It's a different ball game for sure.
I feel like over the years it kind of like separated itself, because if you think of John Cardiel, I mean, he skated everything, did street, did whatever he could, and then I feel like as I got older, there started to be different styles of skating where it was a little too much to keep up.
Right.
Because I also liked, one of my favorite street skaters was Javante Turner. Mm-hmm. And Javante was awesome. Like the tricks he was doing, I was like blown away. And then it's like you had to pretty much choose. Like for example, Billy Marks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Toy Machine.
Yeah.
I mean, I call him Guillermo, but
Guillermo.
I call him Guillermo. I've always called him Guillermo, but you know, he did that stair. That I forget the beginning of that. Oh God, what video was it?
Was it Good and Evil?
Good and Evil. There you go. Good and Evil. So at the beginning of Good and Evil, when he first does that stair, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? So
that's so cool. I love that you know all that too about the skateboarding. You followed it. That's amazing.
Yeah, you got to do it over the years. I mean, my heart is still in it.
Yeah.
I have a nonprofit, which is what I was telling you about earlier, Laen,
Right.
and the purpose of that nonprofit is to help people skate and still be able to kind of like survive, because I feel like the skateboarding industry is a business now, and it comes in waves. You know, there's times where you're good, and then there's times where you're not good.
Right.
I also feel like as we're growing, you know, health wise and getting older, people are starting to take care of their health more, and there should be more, I believe, health insurance for skateboarders. There should be more things looking into the injuries of it. You know what I mean? That kind of
Definitely. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if a lot of these pros get, you know, healthcare with their teams, but I'm sure they got to get it on their own most of the time.
Right.
Unless you're with like a Nike or something that you're more an investment to their brand. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree. It would be nice to have more things like that for skateboarding. And I think skateboarding is in a decline right now too.
Yes.
Apparently. So
the business is going in.
The business side of it. So
everyone has to get jobs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel the street skaters, I mean, they're still doing it. I mean, you're out there, Cain, you're out there still filming and stuff like that.
I mean, they all have jobs.
They all have jobs aside of it.
I think the person that I filmed that, you know, it's really good. He still has like a job, like a regular job. I still haven't met someone that does it like full time, but yeah, most of them are working. Like, I'm still working.
But it just goes to show that they do it because they love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have to have a paycheck behind it to do it, which is rad. Yeah, but before we get into the more in the app, were your parents supportive of you skateboarding? Did you have brothers and sisters that did it or anything like that?
I had a younger brother who skateboarded. We had some friends at church that skateboarded. And I could say like my mom, not really.
Not really? Yeah.
My mom wasn't really around when I was doing all the skating, but most of like my aunts, my uncles, they were very supportive. And then I had friends that were skateboarders. You know, I would go to different gatherings where there'd be hardcore shows, and then there'd be people, oh, that's a pro skater, oh, you know, that's Jeff, and oh, that's this. So to me, it was like my family thought sometimes I was going to a show, but I was really going to skateboard.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, dude, I love the fact that you loved it so much that you still kept with it. Because a lot of times I would think your mom was like, why don't you wear a dress or something, you know? Like,
yeah.
And you're probably like punk rock. I don't know, you know? What was the style back then for you?
Like Gleaming the Cube. I mean, when we saw Christian Slater in the cramp shirt, it was like, and I still the same way. Like I still wear, you know, I got all my pins and my band shirts. I was always in a band shirt. Always in a band shirt to skateboard. I've always had like the crazy hair. I was goth at one point though. I was like a vampire. And
Okay.
there was like a bunch of goth skaters at my school. I remember that was a thing. Like you had to be a vampire and you had to skateboard. I think because there was like a battle between like obviously skaters and surfers at one point between the Lost Boys.
Really?
Yeah, remember Lost Boys were surfers.
Yeah. In my high school, it was more like bikers and the skaters. Like we were like we had to kick it in the same spot because we're all outcasts.
Yeah.
But we still separate ourselves in that little area.
Yeah.
You know, there was our side and there was their side. But still, it was fun. Yeah. So the mom and everybody just like wanted you to do other things, and then
they just wanted me to focus on school and church. And I mean, when I was growing up, we had skateboarding and BMX bikes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how it was. And then the thing was, don't get a Nash board. Because there was this brand called Nash that was selling skateboards at Kmart.
Okay, so it's like back in them days.
Back in those days, and so it was like you couldn't have
Swap meet skateboards.
swap me skateboards, and they were just like, I felt like compared to now, like you could go into like one skate shop because I think there was like one skate shop in like all of Fullerton. Now, I mean. They're closing again.
I was gonna ask, where were you getting your board at? Like,
I was getting my boards. I think they called it. Now it's called Black Hole Records, but it's more of a music store. But back in the day, it was Black Hole Records, and there was this store next to it. And now, actually, across the street from it is Program Skate, which is in Fullerton. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, but
I remember us having to go to like Huntington Beach to a surf shop to
That
get a
too.
board. Yeah.
yeah, it was very rare to see boards.
And then we got a skate shop called Spectrum. Was in like I think La Mirada for a little bit, but yeah, that's a long time ago. What would be the shapes that you were skating in then, and how about now? Because you said Alien, was it about the same now?
About the same now, because I started doing alien workshop when I got older, and I started to understand, okay, the ollie, the kickflip, like understanding tricks at that time. And there was no YouTube.
Right.
When there was like
no how-to videos.
There was no how-to. There was maybe like LimeWire, Napster, and like magazines. That's it.
Right.
Like that's all. There was no one else. And
VHS
then
tapes, and then
there was. I mean, but waiting for a skate video was like insane. It's like, is it going to come out? Is it going to come out? And then they'd be gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like you could just go buy a VHS of it. You'd have to try to burn it from someone or borrow it from someone.
wow, yeah, that was before DVD. Yeah, for sure. Because man, and then if that DVD got scratched, yeah.
I'm in my 40s, in case you guys are wondering.
Do you have a favorite shape, like 825, 8?
Oh no, 8 3/4.
All right.
Which is crazy because when I was a teenager, it was a smaller. I had 7 1/4,
Right.
and I had smaller wheels. But now that I'm older, and I think a lot of people when they first get into skateboarding, they don't know what shape. That's why I love Two Felons. You can go into Two Felons and be honest with Travis. Tell him what it is that you do, like you're not that good or whatever, and he will tell you right off the bat, hey, I think 8 1/4, 8 3/4, these wheels, and that's where I get all my boards now. Now I get all my boards from Two Felons.
All right. Shout out to Two Felons. That's your local shop.
That's my local shop.
Yes.
Those are my boys.
Yeah, I've seen you at a few events.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. What about trucks and wheels? Do you have a preference?
Probably 56s, and I do like the Thunders, but lately I've been getting stuck with Independents.
Independence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Indies
Which
are
is,
good.
I don't grind anything as much, you know what I mean? I do transitions.
Transition? Like
Yeah.
pull?
And now that I'm older, and I did break my ankle, so I have plate and screws.
Mm.
Yeah, I did break my ankle about 4 years ago, so now it's more like a cruiser.
Mm. Are you still like hitting tile and stuff like that, or just cruising around?
Just cruising around. I feel like, and I don't know if more skaters can say this, but once you get those plate and screws, it's very hard, I think, to get back on it. At least for me, I felt like it, because I still feel like I know there's gear in there, especially when it's cold. I could feel like the pain of it.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I kind of feel like if I only had a skate tool, I can loosen it
up.
Loosen it up, because I feel like sometimes the plate and screws are too tight.
Okay.
And
have a little Allen wrench right there.
Yeah, that's what
like, that'd be awesome.
I'm like, I need to untie it. But it's taken me a while. And not because I don't have the confidence, but it's taken me a while to like get on the board and actually direct it after hurting myself, after breaking my ankle. And I think that's kind of why they tell you, well, you can take them out. And I'm like, I'm not going to open my leg, my ankle again. I'll stay with the plate and screws.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're not bothering you too bad, you know, where it feels like you should take them out. But yeah, but I mean, rolling around on your board, as long as you could do that, I think that's satisfying, you know, because we're skaters, and if I can't do it, I'm going to at least want to roll. Yeah. You know, and do something.
I have to skateboard, you know, I have to. There's times where I'll be at Fullerton skate park, and that's why I love it, at midnight, or I'll drive all the way to Channel Street at midnight in the dark. For some reason, I can skateboard better in the dark. Wow. Than during the day, and I don't know if that's because I also surf, but it gets to be a distressor for me, because I do so many things at one time where like my head's gonna explode. And I would rather just go put on my earphones, go to a skate park at night, have a buzz ball. Yeah. Sponsor us. Have a buzz ball, and just listen to any type of metal music or hip hop. Nobody bothering me, and I have the whole skate park to myself.
That's right. Heck yeah. That's cool. I love that. All right. Let's talk about that app then, because it's a lot of interesting things about it.
So we started an app. It's called Lean.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a drink.
It's not a drink. And trust me, we get shut down a lot because of the name. Right. They say that we're enhancing, you know, drug paraphernalia. On social media, they've tried to shut us down. And I've even thought about changing the name, but my brother's just like, no, it's going to stay Lean. And I'm like, you know, why is it going to stay Lean?
I mean, if FA can have a, you know, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy, right? Let's go at Heroin Skateboards.
There you go.
Skate YouTube.
I guess maybe because we're a nonprofit. I don't know. They keep reporting our page sometimes.
I mean, and then again, the L also kind of looks a little like Lakai.
Yeah, somebody else said that to us.
So I was like, "Is that where you got it from?" Like,
no, actually, the guy that designed it is Tom, and Tom is from. He has a company called Loudest Thunder. Okay. And I think we sat down and said, "Okay, we want to start this app," because this was during COVID. Remember, like COVID, nobody was essential during COVID, and during COVID, is when most people were skateboarding. But then they started putting sand in the skate parks. I don't know if you guys remember that. You guys remember that? I remember going to Liberty in Westminster, and I've been to a lot of parks, and just walking up going, whoa.
Yeah, Venice was full of sand.
Like, what is this supposed to do? Like, that was the one thing I think that was giving people physical.
Brea too. They put
did Brea too.
I think they put something in Brea too at one time.
I think all the skaters went in and just started shoveling it
out. Yeah, we had to shovel it out too. Yeah. No, but then like we would shovel it out, and then like a day later it'd be right back in there.
But we'd like carve out a path, you know, so we could at least use one part of the park, you know.
Yeah, that was crazy, but
So you started the app during that time, and then
I started that app during that time because. During that time, we needed to find a place to skateboard, so I started going to the San Bernardino Mountains with the Montoya twins, which I call them the Montoya twins, but Joe and his brother, he has a twin brother named Mike, and they're total metalheads, but they can skateboard like nobody. So we started going to abandoned houses in the San Bernardino Hills because a lot of those houses burnt down, so there's hidden pools out there. I'm not blowing up the spot in case somebody's wondering. Right. But there is, you know, that's anywhere. We were skating in these abandoned houses in Fontana. There's like a whole track of houses in Fontana that were abandoned. And I remember like going in the back of the pool, through the garage, and there was people living in the house.
Oh, wow.
There was people living in the house.
It was like tweakers, right?
Yeah, like people living in the house, and then like this guy like pulls in, like it's just his house, you know, walks in there.
Squatting.
Yeah, he's like squatters. And so, but what really shocked me was one of the houses next to us, they had kids in there.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. But again, nothing was open. Nobody was working. So I decided to like give them food, you know, get them clothes. And I kept going back there to try and help them, you know, hey, come skateboard with us. Hey, come do this. Don't stay home. Don't be bored. Like, we're skate. You guys are living in this abandoned house and there's a pool in the back. At least try to skate it, you know, because we were cleaning it up and skating it. There was even the water park that they tore down in Redlands. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
I've been there. I got a couple.
Yeah, okay. So so that was during COVID.
It's like the little ledge, right?
Yeah, but they tore it down. But anyways, so I was thinking to myself, there has to be a way where we can still support skaters, where we're not giving, you know, tweakers a bunch of money to go get high, where they can go ahead and, you know, kind of like sponsor themselves. But obviously Instagram kind of helps that, and then so does TikTok. But this is during COVID when none of that was really that big of a deal. So we created the Laen App on a trial basis, and when we created it on a trial basis, it was we called it Tips for Clips. So over the years, I've done a lot of nonprofits and donor raising. So I have a list of people, and so I kind of geared it to those people who aren't really involved in skateboarding. You know what I mean? Those people are people that work at banks, people that, you know, I'm an analyst during the day, and, you know, people at music companies. They know of the skating, but they don't have the time to sit there and go watch the skating. So when I created this app, we were like, okay, we want to raise money for these skaters, but we want to use our donors and do it a little differently. And so it got to a point where we were like, well, some of these skaters might need boards, some of them might need shoes. So what we do is we run campaigns. So we'll run a campaign for like an event with Two Felons. Our threshold is $500. And we send out this email and say, hey, we're going to have these skaters there. This is the grand prize. This is the, you know, we want to go to this skate shop to get that. We're trying to raise this. And of course, obviously some on Instagram, you could do the same thing, but it's you asking. And then they start saying that like you're internet panhandling, you know, it just goes on, or like, get a job, you know. Everybody tells a skateboarder, get a job. You know, that they always say that to them, get a job, but they don't realize that skateboarding is a job, especially if you're trying to make a career out of it. And in my life, especially if you're sober, you know what I mean? And we'll get into that later. But anyway, so it was just kind of like these skaters need gear. They need, you know, places to go if they need to get a massage or if they need to see a doctor. Where can we put all this so they can look? And then that's when we started the Laen App.
That's rad.
And we were working on a commercial where like a kid's like, hey, I need to get to work, but I don't have any gas money. But I'm at the skate park. I need, you know, gas money. And so it's like, well, do a trick, put it up on the Laen App, and sometimes one donor will do it. And that's what happens with our campaigns. If we're collecting like $700, sometimes we have one donor that pays the whole thing.
Wow.
And then we get whatever ahead of that or whatever above that we get, and we buy boards, we buy gear, we give out more cash. We do cash for tricks, or tricks for cash.
Tricks for cash.
Tricks for cash. That was my other life. But
okay. So they could post their clips on that app, and then somebody could essentially kind of sponsor it.
Right, because when we feature it, there's an automatic email that goes out to all of our donors. And some of them unsubscribe, we get it. But we're always getting new donors. And, you know, they obviously, skateboarding just got into the Olympics, so more people are paying attention. It's not like just your kid, you know, get out of my hair, go do something with yourself.
Right. Yeah, the parents are actually being like soccer moms and taking them to the park.
They are, actually. Yeah. I see a lot of parents there now.
Yeah, I've been seeing it. Yep, they're at the parks screaming at people that are, their kids are in the way, though. But no, but that's cool, though, that you're doing that for them. And hopefully, I mean, how successful has it been so far?
Well, when we first started, we had this kid. Well, I didn't know it was a kid. I thought we were getting scammed because he set up his PayPal, and we were noticing, we can see the PayPal transactions, and we were noticing that this kid in Nebraska was making like $400 to $500. But when we looked at the kid's profile, it was like some 87-year-old lady that had signed up. Well, he was a minor. But I thought, we're getting scammed. You know, we just started this app and we're getting scammed. And No, what was going on is he was in like a rural area of Nebraska where like I don't think skating was that big, and he was going around saying lean, change for lean for change. I'm collecting change for lean. And he would send him all his videos and be like, look. And so like his parents were giving him donations, his neighbors, people at his school, and they were loving his videos. But right after COVID, he was making money, and there still are some people making money, and it doesn't have to be monetary. It could be anything. It could be, like you need shoes, you need a shirt, you need a ride, you're going to be in a competition. We also have a website called leanforchange.net. You can go on there as well, and we can personally sponsor you versus, sponsoring like a whole brand.
Right.
It's just for individuals. It's for the little guys, basically, is why we started it.
That's cool. Anybody could be on there.
Anyone can be on there, yes.
That's cool. And then where do they get it? Obviously you have the Instagram, and then...
Yeah, you could go on the Instagram. You can go, if you go to our website, leanforchange.net, it'll tell you how to download it and where you can get it. It's on iTunes and Google, I think. You can be on the two. Google? Yes. Okay. And then, do they pay for a subscription or anything? No. It's all free right now. That's why it's nonprofit. Yeah. It's all free for now. I mean, the goal eventually, obviously, everybody's like, well, you got to make money. We look at it that every year. If we're going to actually make it for profit, because we've sponsored a lot of events. You'll always see our names on a lot of events. We do a lot of stuff with Shove It Tacos.
Right.
We do a lot of stuff with Two Felons. We always come together with different brands.
You guys were just out in the desert area? Was it
for Shove It Tacos? Yes, we were out at the skate ranch, the desert ranch.
Skate ranch, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we sponsored. It was like an $800 contest that we did, and we campaigned for that one.
You campaigned for that one?
Yeah.
And then you guys come up with like prize money, or
prize money? Yes.
Okay.
Because a lot of skaters, they love to skateboard, but they cannot pay their rent or their bills with decks and wheels.
Some people join those contests just to try to get that money to make those payments.
Yeah, and that's very important, and that's what I mean. I've seen a lot of people, and I'm not trying to like throw anybody under the bus, but I've seen a lot of brands that'll put on a flyer, $300, $500, $600, and then you pull up and it's only the skate team that's getting the money, not you.
Right.
And I think
the winner goes. It's like the money goes to somebody on the like cahoots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of that. You go to like contests and it's like whoever's throwing the events is kind of just passing out money to
the kids, but they won't give the real skaters the money. And
or like they're giving it to their friends because their friends are the skaters, the really good skaters in there.
Yeah.
Like some amp shows up, and that's the one that
there you go.
The amp shows up, like, oh, that guy's gonna win it. That's part of the their brand. So.
Right, and then that kind of discourages people to go, and we don't want to do that. We want it, and we want everyone to try to participate. I mean, skateboarding is a great thing. I mean, I'm here because of skateboarding.
Right.
We're all here because we skateboard and we love it, but we have to. I mean, Jeff is a perfect example. He was a great person, and he was always to me, the skateboard umpire. You know what I mean? Like, hey, skating has to be here, and we have to remember these things, and we have to keep it here, or we're going to lose it.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? And that was kind of like their generation. That was their escape, and I still think it's a lot of people's escape.
Yeah. I did watch something recently on YouTube as well, but this guy was explaining how that a lot of times now, I didn't even realize it, but skateboarding was our escape as a kid, and it teaches you how to grow into yourself, be yourself. But then now there's other people trying to push their agendas into skateboarders and onto skateboarders, and which is not the business, right? You should be like, let the kid skate, let him figure out everything on his own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't bring that into this, but it seems like they're trying to do that. And
it's kind of like with us when we were growing up in the early 2000s. We got influenced by skateboarding. We'd be influenced by the group of friends that you would meet that was a skater. So my friends were all punk rock. And then I gravitated to that. But we also mixed in with the hip hop dudes, which also influenced me. But naturally, it wasn't like someone came in and pushed it on us,
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I gravitated to the people that were naturally there and cool. Like I said, if you're a skater, don't be a kook. These dudes weren't kooks. We vibed, we skated, we all got good, and had fun doing it. It was never about going pro or the money. It was just about having fun and getting away from the bullshit at home.
That's why I go a lot to San Bernardino. Like I said, that I go and I skate with the Montoya twins to Mike and Joe and other friends that they skateboard with on trail. Phil DuPont, you know, he came out of, I think, Fontana. He skates to just the idea of just being able to like get in a car with your friends, get out of town, go somewhere and explore and skate. You know, if you have some drinks, water, whatever, and laugh. You know, some of the funniest things in my life have happened at the skate park, or I've seen happen at the skate park, or in the car with a bunch of skaters. You know, that right there is the addiction. I think that is what people love about skateboarding. But now, because it's so competitive, like you were saying, we're kind of losing that.
Yeah, I feel like it. Like it's becoming too much of a sport again. Like I don't know. It's just some people are treating it that way, and then but I know a lot of core skaters, so luckily I don't really feel it too much. But once you start looking into the industry side of it, you're like, all right, I could see that. And I've always been against like Nike coming in and stuff like that because they got money, you know, and they're gonna steal all the best people and they're gonna do what they're gonna do. But I mean, if they're helping the right way, that's cool.
Well, that's kind of like with
it's kind of
remember Virgil Abloh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He came into the industry, and I mean, I've seen him on a skateboard, but I don't know. I mean, bless his soul, he passed away, but he started with Off-White, and then he got into Louis Vuitton, you know, and he took skating to Louis Vuitton. And everyone was like, no. You know, it was a big controversy because it was like, how you can't sell skaters, $2,000 decks,
but
you know.
They did.
but they did. And the thing is, like, if I'm a skateboarder and Louis Vuitton wants to hire me to skateboard and model, why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? Anyone would want that.
That right there too is like,
it's like the double-edged sword.
Right, because we're breaking like barriers here, but then again, you're like, but then like a lot of these dudes want to be models too nowadays. I see. Like,
that's a crazy thing too. It seems like every skateboarder now, they're models, they're actors, they're musicians, and then they've got a brand. And
well, it's like I forgot who I was watching on Instagram the other day, and he was just saying there, he's all like, if someone's gonna pay me $300 over compared to $2,000, of course I'm gonna go with $2,000. I got life to pay. I got bills, life, rent, but then that takes them towards that path because that'll just open the door doing something for Louis Vuitton because it's like a resume for them now.
Yeah, like, and then they can say they did it for Louis Vuitton, like people that do things for bands. People social media in general has changed the way we view skateboarding.
For sure.
Because there's a lot of people on social media that look like they're doing great and they look like they've made it, and they really haven't once you get to see them in real life, and they're really struggling. And I think the brands in general need to realize that. I mean, I know the brands themselves are barely surviving,
right,
because everybody wants to buy everything online. But that's where you have to understand the passion of skateboarding. Are you in this to keep it going for people? You probably won't make $1 million if that's the case. But if you're there to make $1 million, you're going to make the $1 million, and you're going to probably lose it in like 3 or 4 years, and it's over for you. Because I've seen that happen too.
Like you got to do a lot of selling out to get there.
Yeah.
If you want to get there quick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
Well, I think that's another thing too. Upcoming skaters need to learn is money management.
Yes.
How to invest their money, how to save their money, how to even learn how to read their own contracts. Because a lot of guys get screwed over on contracts.
That's true.
Very true. Well, and that's I'm an analyst now, and a lot of the skaters that I grew up with, they were all 1099. They didn't realize that they had to pay this in taxes.
Yeah.
They didn't realize that they had to claim certain things over the years, and then they really got themselves in debt. And then, if they're selling a deck or, they're sponsored, their board, how much are they really making? $3 off the board?
Maybe $2, I think.
Maybe $2 off the board. It just, or they're wearing that company's shirt, instead of realizing when you're at your peak. And I say this to anyone in any business, if you're at your peak or you can get there, look at being your own boss. How do you make this happen? Because it's the same thing in the music industry. I mean, just the other day we were watching Prince on TV because he was talking about contracts and owning your masters. And if you're the one putting in the work, right? You're the one getting up to film it yourself, you know, or have somebody film it, but you're doing the tricks. You know, it's your body. You're rushing tirelessly. It should be you.
Right.
You know, but a lot of these people, they get so excited, like, okay, I can do this as a living. It's going to be a career. They don't know what the contract is yet. And then once they get the contract, they're like, oh, well, I guess it's not what I wanted, but I'll still wear the shirt. Right. You know, I'll still get to be seen on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen.
Well, I also noticed there's a new type of pro skater coming out because I just talked to my buddy Steve about it. And I'm like, you're pretty much a free agent pro because you're not committed to anyone. You do jobs for people, but you're not committed saying that you're only sponsored by America or you're only sponsored by them. You're actually going out there and selling your image to them. And then when you're tired of working for them, you're able to move on because you're not signing a contract to them.
Right.
Yeah, because those contracts can hold you.
Yeah, because you're stuck to one brand. I remember a few of my skater friends were like, well, I can't do anything. Or some of the contracts, I remember reading one where it said something like, you know, you can't make any skateboard decks. Like you can go and so that's why a lot of these skaters, they'll have manufacturing when they try to do their own companies because they're still tied to other contracts. But you'll see, Laen manufacturing company.
Right.
Because if you're a manufacturing company, that's kind of the loophole. But again, if you're going to be tied to this contract, that's another thing too, you know, like he was saying earlier, the business side of it. I don't think and they're probably not going to care. You know, some of them, they don't care. They're like, I'm skateboarding to skateboard. But those that are really trying to make a living or, you know,
want to know where their dollars,
they need to know
money's going and coming from.
Very true. They have to.
Yeah. I mean, because basically you're like a subcontractor, right? Like you got to know what you're entitled to. Because like you said, the music industry, they don't get their masters till after like 30 years. And then, what happened to Prince? He passed away before he could even get anything. Yeah. And was that an accident? We don't know. Allegedly. So.
Yeah, we're still trying to wonder, but it's and I'm seeing that same narrative like travel into skateboarding.
Right, because I mean, you could be like you go out with their filmer, you get the clips, but like say Cain, you're a filmer, but if you work for Thrasher owns all that material. You know, it's not yours.
Yeah. Because what I usually do when I film, and somebody's like, they pay me for it, that's your footage. You don't even have to tag them. And that's what I say. Like, you paid for it. That's all. Like, you don't even have to tag me for it. But if you do, that's cool.
That's cool. I mean, most people, just get a shout out.
Yeah, because I think whenever you shoot like a commercial or something, like you're working for that company. If you're the DP, it's like, that's their footage and that's it. Like, they don't even. That's true. Like on the commercials, they just shoot it and that's it. Like,
you could be the guy like, I shot that commercial. Your name's not on it.
Yeah, that's how it is with me a lot of times with like when I do my photography at concerts and stuff like that. Like I said, you could take 1 million photos and one day they only publish one.
Right.
And.
But that one could get you paid though, right?
That one will get you paid, but sometimes it's for the festival. So your name's like on the corner. Sometimes not even your name's not even up there. It's just like we took this, this picture. We paid you for it. It's ours now.
Yeah. But as long as like the art gets out there, that's what I feel like. Like as long as the person, dude, like as long as he's cool and we all know that I did it, so I feel like to me that's cool.
I feel like a lot of skateboarders now are pulling back. Not posting so many clips, not, I mean, the ones that are trying to make it, but the ones that I know, it's very rare now because, again, you want to make those things exclusive. Right. You know what I mean? And I feel like that type of industry is coming back. Nowadays, you look at somebody's Instagram and they'll have just 2 photos and it's like, shut up. Like, I followed you last year, you had 500. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I don't understand it, but like Victor Brooks the other day, he had like no posts again, and then he has 1 post, and I'm like, it's happening. Is that the cool thing, or what's the deal? Like,
no, I think it's the fact that they're trying to keep it exclusive.
You know what I mean? Which is good. I mean, to me, like, I always kind of like, you're gonna get some skate park footage, put that on your Instagram or whatever. Just don't put out your street footage. If your plan is to be making videos, you know what I mean? Like tease the audience a little bit, but then make them wait, and then when you come out, boom, hit them over the head with it, Yeah.
Or like they should learn how to do like I guess, good, you would call marketing, where you make promos like how we used to get back in the day when, you'd have to sit there and wait a year or two for a skate video to come out.
Yes.
Yeah, these guys need to learn how to go through their footage and be like, this is throwaway, so I can use this for promo, and I'm going to keep the good stuff for when my full project comes out.
That's right.
And then that's going to be worth more because now you're building anticipation in your viewers to be like, oh, I can't wait to see that. Or even photography, like get pictures of whatever banging trick you did and start teasing people. Because I remember going through magazines, oh, new video, and it's a crazy trick. And I'm like, damn, I can't wait to see the clip for that trick.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Richie Jackson? He's charging $5 to watch his video part.
Yes, he should. I'm all for it.
Yeah, if you're a fan of him, go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's like minimum like $1 or $2, but it's like $5 or something. But yeah, I think I saw that and like you can. And I haven't even seen it leaked. It's like you have to pay for it. It's like I think
is that on YouTube or on Instagram?
It's on Instagram. I see him like post up like a video part, and then it's like then you go to his link and it charges you or like a donation.
Okay,
so. Yeah, and that's what Laen was. And then isn't that weird how over we started it, and now it's. I think one time our lawyer was like, I think they're trying to steal your idea. My whole goal is I didn't start it to get rich. I started to help people and to help them in other aspects. We want Laen to eventually be a resource for everything. Hey, I need to get a job. We have job postings up there.
Like skate-friendly jobs?
Skate-friendly. Who wouldn't want to hire a skateboarder?
I mean,
you have to...
it depends where you're at.
But I mean,
I don't want the guy... If I'm owning a business that doesn't have skateboarding to do with it, I don't want this guy calling me and telling me, I'm hurt.
There you go. That's true. But you also have to remember that a real skater will fail, and then they get it done.
Oh, for sure.
The consistency, I would think, to get something done. That's why I would hire a skater. I always try to ask people, do you know someone who skates? When I was a manager a long time ago, I would ask them, who's the hardest working man in business? And I'm pretty sure you guys don't know that, but it's James Brown.
James Brown.
And then I would ask him, do you skateboard?
Yeah.
Or does your kid skateboard? Only because you learn those principles. Yeah. You know what I mean? You learn those. When I was trying tricks, I was like embarrassed, and two, it was like I kept failing. You see it all the time with skaters. The frustration, they'll throw their board, they'll snap their board, they'll kick it. There's so much. And then when they finally land it, that high, that relief, like I did it. Yeah. And you can take that to your job. I would think so. Maybe. Depending if you like what you're doing.
I mean, it must be why I'm such a good worker.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I apply to my job, I fail all the time, and if I fail, I just, what's another way I could do this better? I could do it faster, or how can I clean it up?
Yes. And skateboarders know a lot about concrete.
Oh, they do. They do
now. Let me tell you, they know a lot about wood, and they know about a lot about concrete. So if you're like, you have a construction company,
I do. I don't, but I mean, the Urban Skate Project and the other guys. Which the other one?
There's the DIY guys.
Yeah.
There's Urban. There's a bunch of DIYs.
Yeah, P-Side. I mean, these guys, I've been wanting to go get out with those guys too and help out and learn some stuff because I don't know how to pour concrete, or at least I've done it, but I don't know how to finish.
I think Thrasher has DIY segments now too, like to show how to build the spots. So.
That's so cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind adding a couple of ledges out here, like make them look like planners and stuff.
You know what? I saw somebody build a wall right on the way over here, like underneath the Santa Fe Bridge. I was looking and I saw two little things. So somebody's been wall right. I was just trying to like, look at this spot right here. So I was like, that was tripping.
And that's how you also know you're a skater. You look at a building and you're like, oh, I could skate that.
I'm driving everywhere I go. Like my neck is just turning. Yep. That spot. Boom.
I saw industrial area, so I was like, I wonder if there's a spot over here. And slowly I was like, and I just built it because last time I came, it wasn't there. And somebody just built like a thing. Somebody was wall riding it. I was like, damn.
It's so rad. Yeah, I mean, we'll just a little bit of concrete. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can pour that. That's fine. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about like quarter pipes and stuff like that. That's what I want to learn. Like get that transition right, all that. So. And then you said you're photography as well.
Yeah, I do photography. I do.
Is that like the side job?
Yeah, it was a total accident side job. It's like my third job. During COVID, I remember I wasn't essential, and I bought a camera and started taking pictures of graffiti. because we had some of the best graffiti up. They weren't cleaning up the freeways. I'm like, dude, I gotta get this. And so I was going to a lot of graffiti things, and then I started doing car shows.
Okay.
And I like to race cars, and I was a member at Porsche in Carson. So during COVID, the only thing you could do is go out in your car. So I was going there a lot, and I started taking pictures of cars like lowriders, and then I started showing them, I can take pictures of the Porsches. And then one of the guys there that I knew was like, hey, you take really good photos on the cars, are you looking for like a job or like an internship or something? And I was like, no, but okay, yeah. And he goes, NASCAR is looking for people to do the races because they're bringing the races back, but the only thing was no fans. It's just you in the cars.
Right.
And I had never been to a NASCAR in my life, but I was like, this is a great opportunity. It was in Vegas, and I think they were doing their Xfinity series in Arizona. So I was like, okay. And then that's when I learned about the shutter speed. I learned about they have had me take a course and sponsor me so I could be bonded to be on the track.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can't just be on the racetrack. You have
Right.
to know, you know what I mean? You have to know what you're doing, especially with the camera equipment. But that's how I started. And then from there, I went on to like my other friends, my good friend Jesse, he's in Eagles and Death Metal, took photos of him. And then it just started happening from like just different job to different job. And I just did, the last show that I photographed was Carcass and Hatebreed, their 30th anniversary. And then prior to that, I did the 3 days in San Pedro for the NoFX.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I see your Instagram. You travel a lot.
Yeah.
You got a lot of places. You take a lot of photos. And I was just curious, though, but when you take the photos, do you print them out as well? Or you just have to just provide the photo and they do what they want with it?
I edit them because I don't do film. I just do digital.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people. It's crazy. Over the last couple years, people have gone back to film. And I'm like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? You have to develop it. I get the pixel part, and
it does look good. I like it, but yeah,
it does. I think there's a touch to film that I'm starting to,
But I like black and white, film. You know what I mean? Like the color out of digitals. I think where it's at because it's beautiful.
Yeah. With black and white and is timeless photos. That's what I love. I love timeless photos. There's a guy who is a skater. I think his name is Joshua Barraza, or I don't know, but he's a skateboarder too. He does that, and then he takes these photos where it's like it's timeless, where you could just look at the photo and you don't know whether that was taken yesterday or taken in 1920. You get what I'm saying? That is a beautiful and a gorgeous a photo to not be able to tell what time frame it was from. And so I like a lot of those type of photography. I've learned a lot over the years about photography.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, because, I mean, like Atiba, he takes some good photos. I mean, you take photos of skateboarding as well?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Atiba came out, I've known him from San Francisco. He has a twin brother, and San Francisco I've lived in San Francisco for like 6 or 7 years. And I remember seeing him at a couple of bars in the Mission, and he was always taking photos. There's another photographer out of San Francisco that's kind of like him, and that's Marcel Turner. And Marcel is again, timeless photos. He does, I think, both digital and film, and he's an amazing skateboarder. Amazing skateboarder. So again, I kind of feel like skateboarding kind of leads people also into photography, because they start to realize, like, man, somebody took this photo of me, or they're seeing amazing things happen in front of them where it's like, I should have took a photo.
Yes. I mean, this guy got a camera now, Peralta, so.
Good.
Yeah.
See? No, that's good.
I bought a Sony A6400.
Okay.
And then I have a 18 to 135 lens and then I bought an 11 millimeter.
Okay.
Just for the fisheye.
To fisheye.
Yeah. But I've been going to car shows, just shooting for fun, shooting my friends. I've just been doing everything, just taking it with me everywhere just to shoot for fun.
That's kind of how I started. Like I said, I took I used to take photos for some reason everywhere we were going during COVID and when the world was shut down, of just broken glass. And it was crazy to see the different reflections I got, the different colors from just broken glass. And so that kind of made like, that was kind of like my thing in broken mirrors, which some people are like, it's bad luck, but it's like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different reflections from that I was just taking photos of that. And then of course the graffiti.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. Yeah. I've always wanted to take photos because I think I could, but I don't know until I try.
Yeah.
You know, but I've taken great photos with like old phone, like back in the day when camera phones first started coming around. People used to think that my shots were like the screensavers that come with the phone. I'm like, relax, bro. But yeah, so we'll see. Maybe one day I'll start shooting some photos if he lets me use his camera one day.
I think there's like a famous photographer. I think when is it Angel Adams or Angel? He used to take photos of mountains and like greenery. Mm-hmm. Well, one of his photos right now or a couple years ago sold for like 1.2 million. One photo.
Damn. Okay. Be nice to sell a photo for that.
Right? Wouldn't it be great? Like one photo. And it was taken years ago, but again, it was a timeless one.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, who knows, man? Like somebody sold a banana taped to a wall, so.
So I'm ready for skaters. Come and start selling your decks.
You know.
And that's another thing too. You know, you've got to, you know, the business side. No one ever really talks about the business side, or if they do, it's I'm broke. You know, or I didn't get paid for this, or I didn't get. You know, I think the older skaters, at least I'm an older skater, we have that, I guess, knowledge to kind of guide the younger skaters, you know, that are trying to get into these contracts.
Right.
Because it's not what everybody thinks. And it's like we kind of like saw our friends live through that.
Would Laen App help with reading a contract for somebody?
Yes, we would. We always tell people if you need food, if you're in debt, if you're being evicted, if you need legal services, we have a resources page that you can go to leanforchange.net, and we will try our best to help you and guide you, because, you know, you can't be embarrassed and you can't rely on a friend of a friend. And I know skaters do that. Sometimes they're very, you know, they feel embarrassed or they don't want to ask, you know, they'll figure it out. But please, you know, if you're young, don't, you know, get the knowledge, you know, don't be afraid to ask. I would have never made it to where I'm at right now in life had I not put myself in an uncomfortable situation and asked.
Right.
You know, and I try to encourage that with people. Everyone knows me. I'm Mel. Like, they can come to me with anything. And it's confidential. Yeah. But, you know, we all have to help each other. And that's kind of where I say I want Laen to be a resource. You know, we need to make sure that we have the knowledge, the resources to help take care of each other. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, as we get older as skaters, there's injuries that you know, you hit 40, here comes consequences. You know, I always say that.
You don't heal the same.
Your knees go out. You know, I when I broke my ankle, they looked at both my ankles and they were like, "You're nuts." You know, you got two bad ankles.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any events coming up?
Yes, we're doing an event with Two Felons for St. Patrick's Day. I think it's a $500 cash prizes and food, and you know, bring your kids and your family. I always tell people, come out.
I believe that'll be this weekend then, because this episode drops right before that weekend.
Okay, yeah, so it'll be this weekend, yes.
Yeah, so
it'll be this weekend.
That. Yeah, St. Patty's Day. Everybody wear green to the event, please.
Yes, wear green to the event. But yeah, that's our next event.
We'll get paid.
And then after, I'm going to try to see if the city of Fullerton will let us do just a Laen event. You know, I always try.
At the skate park?
At the skate park.
Okay.
We always get... not denied, but told, well, it's not clean. And, you know, they got a lot of graffiti at the park.
Right.
And, you know, we kind of fought to be able to do the graffiti at the park. Mm-hmm. But as you keep doing it over and over, and this is for graffiti artists, just so you know, the paint starts messing up the actual concrete and the wall. And it just, you know, that's why you always see sometimes skaters are like, oh, I don't want to skate. There's a bunch of graffiti.
Right, because it does affect the wheels and like
it also makes it softer, like the concrete. So like, you know, when you ride on mushy rooftop and then it slows you down
because it's layers and layers of paint.
Yeah, it's like skating on top of a sponge or that playground stuff. To make it soft. Mat. Yeah.
Is it tough to get the permits from the city?
I've applied and they've denied me. And then I want to have a permit. I don't really need to for a nonprofit, but I would like to get bigger brands. I mean, that's Fullerton. Right. You know, and Fullerton had a really good skate scene. I mean, we had the Ray brothers, you know, Jeremy and Jonas. I mean, they were more in Brea, but when I was in Fullerton, it was like Jeremy Ray, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah, he's a friend of the show, for sure.
Yay! Yeah, Jeremy's rad.
Yeah. And we miss Jonas, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jonas.
Yeah. All right. So any other events besides that or because if you ever thought about it, because I was gonna say West Coast too, West Covina, they don't ever people just barge that park and do events.
Yeah.
No one ever really.
Yeah. If you go to we throw punk shows, gigs, brands come there and just pop up and we never get told anything.
Yeah. See, we do that too, but with us, I think. It's been more like in San Bernardino or in LA. Orange County is a little different. Orange County, you know, I don't know anyone that has done events in Orange County.
That's true.
No one does events. So there's Ponderosa Park in Anaheim, and that's crazy because if you go to Ponderosa, you know it's where the locals skate. I've gone to so many local skate parks in Orange County, but Ponderosa is like the Edgar headquarters, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. But those kids can skate and they don't know anything about any other park or any other skater. Like I remember going there and I took a friend of mine and he was shredding the bowl. Nobody skates that bowl. They're all street skaters. Right. And, you know, he was like, well, where did you skate? He's like, oh, I was always skating at Channel Street. And the kid had no idea what Channel Street was. And it was like, what? You don't know, you know, Ronnie Sam? They had no idea. And then they were showing us. I mean, they had to be like 13, 14, but then they started showing us their friends that were skaters. Yeah. And I was just blown away. I'm like, it's so crazy to see like the baton being passed from generation to generation. And none of us connect with the same like favorite skaters. Like they always ask me, your dream team, you know, who would be on your dream team? So I'm always like, wow. Definitely Josh Callis, you know what I mean? But then I would want Leo Romero, you know, from Toy Machine. Then I would want Entrell, you know, Filthy Pond. But then I would want Shark Dog, Santa Monica Airlines. You know what I mean? It's like I would want a combination of like vert skaters with the street skaters. That would be my dream team.
And then would they all get along in a bus?
That is you know, probably, I don't know.
We don't know. But hey, we're all skaters. You'd be surprised, man. I've hung out with like, all of us all look different. We all go to like Denny's or something and go have some food and. Like, you know, I look like the cholo. You got the kid. We got the black guy. We got the, you know, everybody's there. People are just looking at us like, whoa, I didn't expect that. But yeah, cool. Yeah. But that's what I love about it. And, if dream place to travel, to shoot maybe, or to do an event?
Yeah, it's going to have to be one of my favorite places where I would love to do a skateboarding event. Before they destroy it would be in Las Vegas. The Wheel of Misfortune. They have a DIY spot in the back.
Oh, really?
So in Las Vegas, Aware, he was a really famous graffiti artist and also a mentor of mine. He was huge and he made that whole, there's like these, I don't know if they were like mining things, but there's 3 big, huge circles and he made one of them Wheel of Fortune, but it was called the Wheel of Misfortune. Oh, wow. So when you look at it from the top, it's like, you know, bank repo, this and that. And then behind it is another circle, and it's a DIY skate park. And it's huge. And I'm like, if I could have an event here, or T-Ditch, you know what I mean? T-Ditch in Riverside. I mean, everyone knows about that place now, but a couple years ago, nobody, like, it was very rare to see people at T-Ditch.
You know T-Ditch?
Yeah, T Street.
T Street.
Okay, T Street.
We called it T-Ditch because it was a ditch.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, T Street. Now T Street. I think Riverside is going to try to make it a skate park because it's gotten so much traction, but I think they have to get approval from the farmer people that live next door.
I think they're pretty cool because I was talking to one of the ladies who worked right there. She was just out picking up trash. And she was out picking up like someone left like a nasty pile of trash. She's all. So it's crazy how the skaters don't even leave trash like this, but some random just comes here and dumps it out their car. I'm like, because these guys want this. They're gonna take care of it and make sure that nothing happens here.
Yeah.
Just so that you guys allow them to keep doing this.
Yeah, because it's a fun place to skate.
Oh yeah, and then they just built the bowl too.
Yeah, that was crazy. That bowl is insane. I try to skate that thing. That thing is nuts because it's so small and condensed.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. And then they use like it looks like brick, almost brick top coping. And I was like, what? Like what are we? Like who? You know what I mean? But again, it maybe when they designed it, they were like, we only want the best of the best to skate this, because any regular person will be like, I'll die.
Well, our buddy Nick, he actually before they finished it wrapped around it and caught air and aired into the ditch out of it.
Yeah. That's what I was telling them. Somebody should try to do that. Remember, go into the hop over to it. I think maybe Joe Montoya. We could get Joe to do that.
Yeah, Nick did that.
Yeah,
shout out to Nick.
Shout out to Nick.
And I think he told us too. He did it with a broken wrist.
I think so.
Goodness.
Yeah, he had just broken his wrist on the try before, and he's all like, I just went for it anyway still.
Yeah.
And the bowl wasn't even finished. It was like I think this back quarter over here needed to still be finished, and he somehow wrapped around and made it over.
He made it over.
Yeah, that's amazing. You guys have any questions?
I just kind of wanted to ask, like, how do you go about trying to build an app? Like, where do you start, or like, what goes into it?
That's a good question.
My brother's like a tech guy.
Okay.
So he had some friends. Sometimes it's not really an app. Like, they don't call it an app. They call it a community.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of app makers out there that can help you with that. When we started, we went through a company called Honeycomb. And we told them what we were looking for. And then they sat down, and it was my brother that was like, this is what we want. You know what I mean? Like, and then Tom from Loudest Thunder. And one of my best friends, Todd. I got a lot of input before I launched the app.
Yeah.
I got a lot of input because I'm like, what do we want to do with this app? Like, I don't want it to be like some girl shows her boobs on there and then they shut us down, because it's an all ages app.
Yeah.
And half the reason too that I created the app is, like I said, it was during COVID. And during COVID, I was working for a law office. I was a paralegal at the time, and we got really bad criminal defense cases. And so it was a really bad time for me. And I remember just wanting to quit every day because we were dealing with minors. And so I kind of geared lean towards that age group. Right. Because I felt like during that time there was, I'm not going to get into politics or the system, but the system is designed for us, in my opinion, to fail. Yeah. Right. And so I just thought to myself, it's a joke. We lost our first 2 cases, and I remember saying, but we should have won that. Well, yeah, the judge knows the opposing counsel. They're in this courtroom for, 3 or 4 times a week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They have a relationship, no matter what we would have said, because we got that judge, and, this firm is in here all the time.
It's a business.
It's a business. Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, and that's a little like, going off the point, but it was like, I felt like the age group for boys from 7 to about 15, there's a lot of confusion there, and there's a lot of demand, and that age group gets overlooked in everything. Oh, stop crying, oh, go get out of my, you know what I mean? Yeah. Here's a video game. And especially now, I have a 10-year-old, and, they're Generation Alpha, and this is all they do. She can skateboard and doesn't want to do it. She wants to be on Roblox, and she wants to. So I wanted to focus on that age group with Lean. And so with the app, because it's all, what I was trying to get to is because it's all ages, they throw a lot of things at me all the time. Like, the shotgunning contest where we were teaching these kids how to shotgun, but it was water. You know what I mean? It was water, and it was a new brand, and I thought it was cool. But it was, again, age group from we had 8-year-olds shotgunning a
liquid death.
Of liquid death, but.
Their latest commercial, I think, was a bunch of kids shotgunning beers, I believe. So.
Then you know what?
Yeah.
Okay. So
you know what? I think recently I seen that commercial with the kids. It was all slow-mo, and they're just shotgunning. It was like liquid
But
death.
What was the age group?
It was a bunch of kids. I remember it was like a bunch of little kids on. I think it was maybe a Super Bowl commercial or something.
Yeah,
it was something where I was like, it was the kids chugging the beer.
Shotgunning the.
And it just made me think of it right now. I was like, wait, I seen that commercial, and I was like,
I got frowned upon, and when we get into me owning a skate brand, I'm the girl I have to drink. You know what I mean? And I know that a lot of skaters have gotten sober; they don't want to do it, but just something about when I have a drink, my body loosens up, and I'm not, you know, I'm not as crazy.
I was there.
Right. You get what I'm saying? Like that. That's kind of how it was for me. And then at one time when I tried to stop drinking, I was like, oh my God, this is like going to the gym now. You know, like I'm sweating and I'm nervous.
I was scared to skate again, like without having it. It's like, but you get over it. Yeah.
Do you do it now without?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I've been sober for over a year now.
Congratulations.
California sober.
There you go, California. But you get what I'm saying? California sober is okay. Yeah, and that's where we get into like, you know, the industry with a lot of people don't talk about is the addiction. You know, there's a lot of skateboarders that are on drugs, and they have to be on those drugs to land those tricks. You know, at a younger age. Now they're trying to rehabilitate and you know, be sober, but you know, it's just kind of like, how do you kind of guide that away? Where do you go to get the help? Can you get the help? That's part of what we wanted Laen to be, that resource, and extend it out to people. So, hey, if you're struggling, if you're trying to get sober, we have resources. We can help you do that. You're an individual. You know, my slogan for the whole thing is you are worth it. And the reason why is I was at a skate park one time, and I'll never forget it. And, you know, this kid was arguing with his dad, and the dad threw him out of the car. And the kid was like, whatever, get out of here. And he told him, you are worthless. And it just, you know what I mean? And that was just.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like most kids will probably take a hit before they, you know, those words will stick with you longer than a bruise. You know what I mean? So it's like. And
no one is worthless. Right. Especially, I don't know if it was his dad or uncle, whatever, what the dynamic was, but to hear that so ugly, you know what I mean? Like that was really, and I said to him, you know, I kind of let him go away, and I walked up to him and I said, you're worth it. Don't ever let anyone tell. And he goes, oh, I know, but I'm like, just remember that you are worth it. And so that's kind of like my slogan when we think of Laen, you are worth it. Because also too, with skateboarding comes the dark side, the depression. When you get hurt, when you lose your sponsors, you're not making money. Suicide is huge in this industry, and nobody wants to talk about it. You know, and I'll probably get frowned upon, but we're looking now at CTE too. Some of these head injuries, no one's looking into that. So my thing is, with Laen or without Laen, you know, make the time to go skateboard. Even if it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If this is what you love doing, make it. Don't stop. Don't become a parent, because now you're having kids. You know, take your kids, show them, because at the skate park, it is a safe place. Yes. And we don't want, and I think that's why people are kind of against the whole business part of it. We don't want, you know, Nike filming. You know, the skate park is a safe place where people can come and heal or sleep or get food. That's one thing. When we try to have our events free, you know, I try to have free food. You know, we want people to know that you can come to a Laen event, you know, and if you're starving, you're going to get food, you're going to get water. And
is that like how Shove It Tacos, do they provide the food for that, or you provide other food for that?
Sometimes Shove It Tacos does, or if not, we provide.
You guys kind of pay them ahead of time, be like.
We did, yes, we did that for, we had a event called Halloween, and that was probably like our first major event, and it was the craziest event ever because we had it at the LA Skate Club.
Okay, oh yeah.
So we had it it's called Halloween. And we had music, and we had, you know, different genres of music. I was able to bring Andy Roy and Killa Priest together. You know what I mean? And it kind of reminded me of what I was seeing when I was growing up, because I would see some crazy collaborations. And that's one thing I think pro skaters, if they're watching this, please collaborate with some other skaters. You know, collaborate. Let these kids see that. Kids want to see that. I think with that event was so cool because somebody was like, wait a minute, I just saw, you know, what is it called? Killa Priest from Wu-Tang. And then I saw, you know, him with a picture with Andy Roy and Joey Brzezinski. You know, what's the chances of that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, bring them all together. But I think skateboarding does that.
It does.
You know what I mean? Because everybody from when they're a kid, they might have had one in the garage one day and they tried it, you know, or whatever. So they could relate, like, but I think it's beautiful. That's rad. Were you at that event? Yeah, huh?
Did you go to it?
No, I missed that one.
You were there? Okay, that was my event.
I helped build the whole skate club.
Yeah.
You did? Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, yeah. That's how I know Listo and all them, because we tried to do a bunch of events. We tried to save that spot at one point.
Well, it was just a bunch of issues with the
landlord was awful to them.
Yeah.
You know, that landlord, I also think he might have saw like what that place could have been.
Yeah.
And wanted somebody to come in. You know what I mean? Because they had some really good events there.
Great location too.
Great location,
Yeah,
and I think,
sure.
and that's what I think it was. I think, and that's what happens with a lot of, I think too at skateboarding. People see the money, and they're like, "Oh, well, then I'm going to get involved in this. I'm going to be a part of this. I can, do it too.
I want to milk some of that.
I want to milk some of that, and it just.
Well, I think their new location is going to kind of be able to host some of that stuff now.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's not as big as the last spot, but I know they're trying to make it to be able to host events and stuff there again too.
I hope so, because we need that. Everyone needs that, and make some free events, please. I mean, we did that too. Laen, we put on a free show, in Costa Mesa, and we had Urethane, Guttermouth, and Dogface Bastards. We put on a free show, and all you had to do was download the app.
Okay.
All you had to do was download the app and show us that you had it downloaded, and you got in for free. And it was crazy because, again, this was right after COVID, and we said we did this free show for everyone. People didn't even believe it, but we had some people drive down from San Diego, and this guy said he could never afford tickets to see Guttermouth ever because he lived paycheck to paycheck. And he brought his wife and his daughter, and they all got to see
that's amazing.
Guttermouth. So I was like, see, that's what we want to do. That's what it's about.
Now you just gave me an idea. No one's gonna walk in this studio until they subscribe to our channel.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, people.
Give a donation. Give a donation.
All right. Is there anything else you want to bring up before we get out of here?
No, just I like the girls on here. I like the girls. More women, more women.
We're trying to get them on the show more, so it'd be cool. Yeah. Do you have any? Or let me give you a crazy question real quick. If you could have a guest board graphic for like any team for Laen App, who would you want to make the board?
Like any sports team?
Alien Workshop, like board shop.
Oh, they have to be one that's existing already?
No.
Well, okay, because the inside joke, and it's not a joke, is every year I write to Kirkland. I want to be sponsored by Costco.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, Costco. If you're hearing this, Costco sponsors. Every year I send them, like clockwork, you have to do it in September. And I go, hey, we're a nonprofit for skateboarding. Because I use that Kirkland seasoning on everything. Everybody has Kirkland seasoning in their cabinets right now. But I want to be sponsored by Kirkland. But if it's a brand, it would definitely be Dirty Ghetto Kids.
Dirty Ghetto Kids. Okay.
DGK. Yes. Shout out to Stevie Williams and Cooley. Stevie Williams. That is an inspiration to me. Mm-hmm. I love Stevie, and I've known Stevie for a long time. And to see where he came from and where he's at, and him still giving back. That is a king in this industry. Not to say that the other ones aren't, but you will always find Stevie still skating and still giving back and showing up.
And working out, too.
Yes, definitely.
He's probably at JCon right now.
He is.
He's right now at JCon.
You can go and who doesn't want to do that? I remember, like I said, when I first saw Christian Hosoi, I almost fell out of the chair. I was like, oh my God, it's him.
That's amazing. All right. Do you have any shout outs?
Yes, I wanted shout out to Shove It Tacos, Two Felons, Miklo and Anthony, and a shout out to Tom from Loud as Thunder, and a shout out to all of you. Anyone that's watching and supporting, you guys matter, and I hope that I want to see this grow more. And, don't ever stop skateboarding. No matter what it is, don't stop. Let that be your escape, and if those that get to make a career out of it, good job.
Yeah. And download the app.
Download the app, yes.
Yes. And if you're out there and you want to sponsor a skater, right, they can go to the...
Yes, if you have a contest or you want something, go to our website, go to the info, let us know what you need, and if usually we try to do one every month if we can, if not at our events.
leanforchange.net.
Yes, Lean for Change on it.
And your Instagram?
It's Laen App.
Lean _
Laen App, yes, because when people aside of the drink, people think lean, like we're working out together. You know what I mean? So that we get a lot of those.
Okay, well, you never know. You can blend those worlds in together too.
Bodybuilders, skateboard, can you imagine?
They tried to get into one time.
Did they?
Yeah, they wanted to try to like have us come to their gym and do like physical therapies and stuff like that. But
it was a UFC gym tried doing a thing with us.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you guys think of it?
We thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
But it'll be hard to like kind of get skaters to actually work out when they're young, you know, like us older guys. Yeah, we want to do it now, but
but
even to find the time too to go to a actual facility and stuff like that. But it's all good. Shout outs, Cain.
Everybody listen.
That's it.
I'll shout out to Listo too for.
Oh yeah, Listo.
Yeah, shout out for Listo.
All right, Peralta.
Shout out Cain. Thank you for coming in and covering us. Everyone watching. Shout out to you. Thank you for doing everything you're doing out there for the skateboarders. Cool to finally meet you. I know you were. I remember you back at the event, but I was running all over the place. Trying to handle things that they were telling me were going wrong. But yeah, thanks to everyone watching, supporting us, supporting skaters. Can't do it without the people watching. Oh, and then shout out to the Off to Lunch crew.
Yeah. Shout out to you. Thank you very much for coming down.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. And good meeting you two as well. Yes. All right. And everybody out there, remember to support your favorite local skater, man. If you want to see your favorite skater on our show, hit them up. Tell us in the DMs on Instagram, or if you see us out in the streets. Yeah, I guess that's it. Till next time, I'm OG Skate Show. Peace out.
Okay, that was...